With it.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. This is your Akazaki Yahoo, and I start this broadcast as I start any broadcast by giving all praise, honor, and great esteem to the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say shalom, Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait till the day that the Most High brings us back together, and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High Power, under one covenant. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I'm joined this afternoon by my Akeem. I got Cliff in the building. Shabbat shalom, Akeem.
Shabbat shalom, family. All praise and blessings to the Most High. Glad to be here.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Indeed, yes, indeed. And also my most esteemed Akinanaya. Shabbat shalom, Akeem.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Aki. Shabbat Shalom, Yasharal. Kwam Yasharala.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All praises. So we left off last night at chapter number 7, and we are about to get into chapter number 8. We're going through basically the ceremonies and starting to get into some of the Torah, some of the law. So in the book of Leviticus. So let's go ahead and get to that and just lift up the name of the Most High.
Hallelujah.
All praises, yes indeed. All right, so we are at Leviticus chapter number 8, and we'll start with verse number 1. This is the consecration of Aharon and his sons. I believe this is about the third time we've seen this since we've been going through. But the Most High does establish that by 2 or 3 witnesses, let every matter be established. So
That's right.
no surprise here. This is verse number 1. It says, "And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, Take Aharon and his sons with him, and the garments, and the anointing oil, and a bullock of a sin offering, and 2 rams, and a basket of unleavened bread. And gather you all the congregation together unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation." Verse 3. And Moshe did as Yahuwah commanded him, and he assembled and the assembly was gathered unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Moshe said unto the congregation, This is the thing which Yahuwah commanded to be done. And Moshe brought Aharon and his sons and washed them with water. And he put on them the coat and girded him with the girdle and clothed him with the robe and put the ephod upon him and girded him with the curious girdle of the ephod and bound it unto him therewith. And he put the breastplate upon him. Also he put in the breastplate the Urim, and the Thummim.
Yeah, thumb
Thummim. Okay, God. I remember seeing that before, but that's not a fact. I remember seeing that before, but I'm gonna take a look at that one again
because I don't remember what those were either.
Yeah. So yeah, that is extraordinary. All right, let's see here. Perfection.
Hmm.
That's what it says. Stone provided for it means achieving scarlet lots. This Urim bill of the Most High was revealed. All right. Okay, and yeah, we saw it back in Exodus, and we are again Leviticus, see it again. So a couple times in Exodus. I remember seeing it. I just don't remember what it was.
God.
Like
Urim.
Uri. lights, stone kept in a pouch in the high priest's breastplate, used in determining Most High's decision in certain questions and issues. Hmm, interesting. Okay, well, let's continue. Verse number 9. It says, "And he put the mitre upon his head, also upon the mitre, even upon the forefront, did he put a golden plate and a Kodesh crown, as Yahuwah commanded Moshe. And Moshe took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle with all that was therein, and all that was therein, and sanctified them. And he sprinkled thereof upon the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar and all his vessels, but both the laver and the foot, and his foot, sneak out, to sanctify them, both the laver and his foot, to sanctify them. 12. And he poured the anointing oil upon Aaron's head, and anointed him, and sanctified him. And Moshe brought Aaron's sons, and put coats upon them, and girded them with girdles, and put bonnets upon them, and as Yahuwah had commanded Moshe. And he brought the bullock for a sin offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the bullock for a sin offering. He slew it, and Moshe took the blood and put it upon the horns of the altar around about with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured the blood at the bottom of the altar, and sanctified it, and made reconciliation upon it. And he took all the fat that was upon the inward, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and Moshe burnt it upon the altar. But the bullock and his hide, his flesh, and his dung, he burned with fire without the camp, as Yahuwah had commanded Moshe.
Salaki, I can ask a question.
Yeah.
Now, as you reading this, I'm trying to picture it, right? And
Yeah.
I'm like, would that yesterday altar be in a sense where it's definitely built upon the ground, and the bottom of it is the ground where the burnt offering, like how we would do a fire pit today with
Con.
stones, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of like what I'm trying to picture here, where if we were to say, hey, yo, look, to keep these sort of sacrifices or whatnot, if that was a part of at least a lamb, you know what I mean?
Con.
Would it be unholy or unsanctified, so to speak, for us to say own some land and set up some sort of pit for that purpose that day, where we take that 1 year old lamb, you know what I'm saying, and have that Passover, you know what I'm saying? Would it still be wrong for us to get back to that or something? You know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't go as far as to try to replicate what we see in here, but if we just took a lamb and cooked it, on the land, uh, I wouldn't see there wouldn't be a problem with that. I mean, I wouldn't try to build a tabernacle and an altar and all that kind of stuff. Uh, but I would say, you know, definitely cooking just cooking a lamb and making a fire pit and cooking a lamb, even for the Passover. I mean, there wouldn't be any harm in that at all. At all. Uh, I just wouldn't try to I wouldn't try to replicate the. Actually, I just wouldn't try to replicate the altar, not the altar, but the tabernacle. But thinking back, what we read before, there was a time I believe Yaakov built an altar unto Yahuwah when
Mm-hmm.
when he was out, when on his way to Laban.
Yeah,
When
Khan,
when he
right.
stopped, yeah,
And he told his sons and all his household to get rid of the idols. This is
yeah,
no more. You know what I mean? Uh, and it was just part of the journey. You know what I mean? It's
uh,
part of his journey in growing. And to land back on what you brothers are speaking about, uh, the headliner of this chapter was the consecration of Aharon and his sons, which we know were the priests. And remembering what we know from the so-called New Testament, that
uh,
we are a nation of priests and kings. So,
uh,
we must need to consecrate ourselves as well, that
yeah,
we can offer up those spiritual sacrifices for our nation. So
uh,
it all ties in together, and I'm listening in diligently just to see exactly how they consecrated themselves, because again, we are a nation of kings and priests. So
uh,
we need to be consecrated as well.
yes, indeed, yes, indeed. Yeah, do it in like manner, and follow the as it's written, and you know, again, I wouldn't go as far as to try to replicate the tabernacle, but as far as following what's written, following the customs, following the instruction. I mean, yeah, I mean, it certainly wouldn't hurt anything to put up a pit and cook a lamb, and even make you know making an offering to the power. You didn't have to go to the tabernacle. We talked last night about when they did that offering for Samson, uh, when the Malachim came, when the Malach came down and gave them the news that Samson was going to be born. Uh, he told them to offer a burnt offering to Yahuwah, and they did, and it was accepted. Fire came down and devoured it. So you know, it's definitely you know, uh, it's definitely doable. So
Okay, okay, and I'm just shooting it out there. I'm just shooting thoughts, right?
okay,
Now, and I like to tell people a lot, that yo man, y'all better prepare for the wilderness.
okay,
Prepare for the wilderness. So when we come to this wilderness standpoint and we say, hey, yo, look, we're on the escape route again, away from this Babylon. We you know what I'm saying? So it's like if one of us was to be able to own, say, 30 acres or something, 40 acres, 50 acres, and you had animals roaming through which you could hunt, you know what I mean?
yeah,
How will we know how to hunt and kill the animal that's, do it for consumption, you know what I mean? Without even having to know the practice of what we're talking here. You know what I mean? Taking the blood, slay it. You know what I mean? Doing what it do to make sure that from the time it's killed, is pure unto us. You know what I'm saying? And
right,
just being in that wilderness mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like this animal here. Hey yo, look, we ain't never did this before. We ain't never had to hunt before. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
God.
if we get to that point where we had to hunt, we would think, hey man, we went about 2-3 days without something to eat. You know what I mean? We gotta thank the Most High for this one. You know what I mean?
exactly.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel you.
God,
So
I
God.
feel you on that.
you know what I mean? Like, hey, look, bro, let's do it. Let's do it how our ancestors did it.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
I,
what I'm saying? So
I
so I think it wouldn't be a bad thing to say, oh look, let's go hunting, let's kill an animal, let's follow the guidelines right here, skin it, gut it, however they, because the enemy know all that good stuff, how to survive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We run around here trying to catch squirrels if we don't know how to do nothing else.
Right. Hey,
But
last night, we got into the different types of sacrifices
Right.
that were made, and
Yeah.
how many did we end up counting? I think it was like 12 or 14, wasn't it?
Yeah. Between 12 and 14 is the difference.
And
The different ones.
and the Abba required different. It was different ways that you did each one. You
Yeah.
know,
Different
so
ceremonies.
mhm,
and it's a lot of good reading.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't hurt us to go back over that, and I plan on
Okay.
going back over that, reading that again
Oh yeah.
at some point, just because it is so tedious on how he wants it done. You know.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, those sacrifices were particular. He had this sacrifice this way, that sacrifice is that way. You know, one sacrifice you had to have a male, other sacrifices he required a female. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, wow, you know, the details and how intricate it was dynamic. So, you know, I imagine being a priest in this situation, you had to study this stuff and really, you know, really get it in. Not
God.
only that, you probably had like a chart, like diagram type setup, so you won't mess it up. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so but yeah, kind of. Actually, Slick, I'm gonna have to take about 2 minutes or about a minute and a half. So give me just one quick there. Y'all
Yeah,
keep talking here.
yeah, indeed. But what you're saying, Cliff, I mean, you're right. And it's not something that we're gonna learn just off the first hunt. You know what I mean? This is something that
mhm.
it's gonna take some practice. You know, I'm looking forward to going hunting this coming season. You know, I got that, you know, I got the rifle. Just need to go out and get the license to actually go out and hunt. Um, we need to hone in on all those skills, because you know the famine is coming. His word does not come back void. And you know, we've seen the sword being out perpetually. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Brothers
yeah.
is falling. We see the pestilence. And famine is what's next, huh? So yeah.
Mhm. Hey, as long as they yeah, that's for sure. Cause farmers are talking about it too, man. How the enemy is really putting a grip on the land, trying to control more and more. But yeah, it's coming.
It comes.
Yeah, that's the thing about drinking water, and it's today is a little bit cooler than it has been, and you know, so I'm not sweating at all. And when you drink it, it's gotta,
It's
you
got to
know,
come out. It's got to come out.
so.
I told that guy yesterday. I said, man, get you a. Ooh, hey, can I share something with y'all real quick before we get? I don't know if it's out of context
You just out of
because
context.
huh?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I went to work the other day, out in the field, out in the yards, and one of the first things I pick up is a cup of water, right? Big cup of water. So I pulled up to the gas pump and there's this homeless guy standing there. I recognize him, but I said to myself, I said, wow, the guy got a haircut. He must be feeling good about himself. First thing he asks is, you going to get the money, right? I said, well, I'm going to try to pick up something. You need some help? He said to me. I said, well, yeah, I do actually. And this first job I could use a hand, you know what I mean? And I didn't feel any bad thing about it. I felt like I was doing a good thing by helping his brother. I already knew I was gonna pay him, you know what I mean? And I got him a cup of water and I told him, man, you better drink some of his life, man. It's in it. It's in the water. And I kept for some odd reason I kept thinking, man, there's life in the water. You know what I mean? Before the earth was formed, it was just it might have. I think I read in the it might have been the book of Adam and Eve or something. It was just a bubble of water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that water something else, boy. I just
Yeah.
wanted to share that though.
Praises. So that worked out. He worked with you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh man, it was quite an experience too. You know what I mean? It was a humbling experience for me. We rode around. I threw on the praise music.
All
Yeah.
praises,
Towards,
Doc.
you know what I'm saying? And we just sung a little bit. Well, I did, you know what I mean? And I was trying to, I was like, this is for me. I was like, we got to break these spirits out here. These brothers are bound by these spirits, and I'm feeling like after about 3 or 4 days of no eating, shit, a spirit might come upon you too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and I felt for the brother, and he followed all of the directions. And
Yeah.
when I left him alone, of course, he had his little moments where he would stand to himself and have whatever. But he didn't get out of order or anything, and I was thankful for that. But yeah, he was very helpful, man, and he cleaned up pretty good in the yard, as far as what I asked him to do. But I brought him back and paid him, and he was very thankful. And it was on the way I rode by yesterday. He was sitting in the same spot. I said he might be looking for me.
Hey, that may be it right there. I can pick him up
But
on the
yeah,
regular,
man.
and you had to get double the work done.
Yeah. So I was praising the Most High today, like, and it just came over me like, yo, your help is on the way. It's on the way, the right help. Because I took another brother out with me yesterday. He almost messed my money up in this one yard. He was a brand new customer. And he almost messed my money up, but the customer ended up paying me more than I asked him anyway. So I was thankful for that.
Hallelujah.
Yes, indeed.
So. But I was like, I said, I see now I'm gonna have to train these brothers before I give
Yeah.
them a piece of equipment. You know what I mean? They say, yeah, I can use that. I can use it. Yeah, I know how to use it. Nah, I don't want to go for that no more.
God, God. Yeah,
Yeah,
you definitely got to make sure
training
that
experience. But
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he's showing me that, yo, I'm gonna send you some help. You just gotta know which one it is. I don't know. I just feel like I can't. I tell him I can't do this by myself no more. It's increasing,
Yeah.
and I need some help.
And it's high.
So that's what I'm praying for. I'm praying for the right help. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hallelujah. All praises. All right, let's get back to Leviticus chapter 8 and verse 18 here. Uh, it says, and he brought the ram for the burnt offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he killed it, and Moshe sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about, and he cut the ram into pieces, and Moshe burnt the head and the pieces and the fat, and he washed the inwards and the legs in water, and Moshe burnt the whole ram upon the altar, and he burnt it was a burnt sacrifice for a sweet savor, and an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah, as Yahuwah commanded Moshe. And he brought the other ram. The ram is the ram of uh,
Consecration.
consecration. Okay, I thought that, but I wasn't. Like, let me look at that in depth. But the ram of consecration, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he slew it. And Moshe took the blood of it and put it on the tip of Aaron's right ear, and upon his thumb, and upon his of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And he brought Aaron's sons, and Moshe put of the blood upon the tip of the right ear, and upon the thumb of their right hands, and upon the great toe of their right foot, or right feet. And Moshe sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he took the fat and the rump, and all the fat that was upon the inward, and the caul above the liver, and the two kidneys, and their fat, and the right shoulder. And out of the basket of unleavened bread that was before Yahuwah, he took one unleavened cake, and a cake of oiled bread and one wafer, and put them on the fat and upon the right shoulder. It's like you're making a sandwich. Verse 27. And he put all upon Aaron's hands and upon his son's hands, and waved them for a wave offering before Yahuwah. And Moshe took them from off of their hands and burnt them on the altar, the burnt offering that were consecrated for a sweet savor. It is an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. And Moshe took the breast and waved it for a waved offering before Yahuwah, for of the ram of consecration it was Moshe's part, as Yahuwah commanded Moshe. And Moshe took of the anointing oil and the blood which was upon the altar, and sprinkled it upon Aaron and upon his garments, and took his sons and upon his sons' garments with him, and sanctified Aaron and his garment, and his sons and his sons' garments with him. And Moshe said unto Aaron and to his sons, boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and there eat it with the bread that is in the basket of consecration, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it, and that which remaineth of the flesh and the bread shall you burn with fire, and you shall go out of the door of the tabernacle of the congregation in 7 days, until the day that your consecration be at the end, and the 7 days shall he consecrate you, as he have done this day, so Yahuwah have commanded to do, to make an atonement for you. There you shall abide at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, day and night, 7 days, and keep the charge of Yahuwah, and you shall not, that ye die not, for so am I commanded. So Aaron and his sons did all the things which Yahuwah commanded by the hand of Moshe.
Hallelujah.
Did you get a visual on that?
Well,
I got a little bit, but not.
yeah, not a clear one like I have in other things, but
Yeah.
No, hey, I was sitting here I was picturing of myself. I was like, man, when cometh the day where you know it may be required that I'm like, yo, they going to for some odd reason. What? Okay, the consecration of Aaron and his son. Can I get the maybe I'm not understanding the word of consecration.
Oh, yeah, we can take a look at that.
Yeah, I need the definition of consecration because I'm like, so y'all barricade just well not okay. I'm not saying barricade, but he said don't come out of the door of the tabernacle for 7 days. So I'm like, why would I have to stay here for 7 days? And we just made we just made these burnt offerings. Did we make them to eat in here for 7 days, or how does this work? Or are we? You know what I mean? I'm like, we went through they just went through all of this with the sacrifices, and then they go into the tabernacle for 7 days to come, so I'm trying to really understand what's the purpose of going into the tabernacle for the 7 days.
well, I mean, I'm not exactly sure, but I know that we read about uncleanliness yesterday, and you can become unclean unknowingly. You know, if you touch something that is unclean, you're now unclean. And this was a big no-no
Right.
uh, uh, for our ancestors, and namely the priest. You know, so with you being put away for 7 days, you know, there's the chances of you being unclean are
Pretty much the
unlikely.
game. Yeah.
Okay, so okay,
You stand in that tabernacle of the congregation, and yeah, so you in that place consecrated.
okay, so
So
yeah,
it's
so,
you, uh, Milu,
Milieu.
Milu. Uh, so consecration 11 times, set 4 times. So setting, install, setting, stones for set, install. Is it the right thing?
Yeah,
Is that
mhm.
it?
con.
Right? Grammar consecration? I don't think that's it. Let me scroll down. I think I clicked on the wrong thing. We were further down. Yeah, congregation.
There you go, right there. I think that's the same word though.
Oh, it
H
is
39 4
94.
394.
Yeah, sure is. Okay, I was thinking I had the wrong one. So yeah, setting install. Hmm. Yeah, when I thought of congregation, I thought of just as the separation.
Mm-hmm.
Putting you to a place where you can get where your thoughts are focused on this one particular aspect, and taking away outside issues. So
So as it say, a cleansing process?
it really didn't. It just said to basically to set. Um, you know, go back to it. Um,
Okay, so they basically did because when I read 34, I'm like, well, what was it for? Verse 34, it says, "As he have done this day, so Yahweh had commanded to do to make an atonement for you." So that's what the whole is that what this
yeah. So yeah, I mean, as we read the entire chapter, uh, it was about they did the offering to the Most High for that, and once that was all you know done, now they're consecrating him. Um, so kind of, I guess my mind is kind of going towards the what's the brothers that grow the hair?
The Nazareth
Nazarene.
vow.
Yeah, the Nazarites. Yeah, Nazarene. Um, but yeah, so they're consecrated, to the Most High because they don't cut their hair, no razor comes upon their head. They don't eat anything, unclean. They don't. What else is required of them?
No
They don't come.
wine.
Yeah, no wine. They don't come in contact with any dead people. Um, so like you want that consecrated. So even though we set apart, think about Israel as a nation set apart from these other people. Um, the priests are even more set apart because they're dealing with the Most High at such a level, and much like the Nazarene are dealing on such a level that they don't deal with certain things, um, even things that are regular. Or I won't say regular, but more common Israelite priests and Nazarene deal with a different level than that. So guess that's my best understanding of it. Yeah. So let's continue to verse number 9, chapter number 9, and hopefully help get us some insight as well. This is Aaron offers sacrifices. So Aaron is offering sacrifices. Verse number 1, it says, "And it came to pass on the 8th day that Moshe called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel. And he said unto Aaron, Take you a young calf for the sin offering, for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering, without blemish, and offer them before Yahuwah. And unto the children of Israel you shall speak, saying, Take you a kid of the goats for a sin offering, and a calf of the lamb, both of the first year without blemish, for a burnt offering. Also,
Salakia, not to not to throw you off. You know what I'm saying for the edification. You know what I'm saying. It said and a calf and a lamb.
oh,
You know what I'm saying.
I said it wrong.
Yeah, you said of a lamb. I was
Oh,
wondering if you was thrown off. You know what I mean.
so they got told off for that because I be trying to get these words and sometimes I get tripped up. So yeah, so they got correctly cut off. Want to get out? Let me read it. It
All right, my
says,
bad.
"Oh, no, you good? I appreciate that. I appreciate that, no doubt." Verse 3, it says, "And unto the children of Israel you shall speak, saying, Take you a kid of the goat for a sin offering, and a calf of a lamb, both of the first year without blemish, for a burnt offering." All right, verse number 4, it says, "Also a bullock and a ram for peace offering, to sacrifice before Yahuwah, and a meat offering mingled with oil. For today Yahuwah will appear unto you." And they brought that which Moshe commanded before the tabernacle of the congregation. And all the congregation drew near and stood before Yahuwah. And Moshe said, This is the thing which Yahuwah commanded that ye shall do. For the esteem of Yahuwah shall appear unto you. And Moshe said unto Aaron, Go unto the altar and offer your sin offering and your burnt offering, and make an atonement for yourself and for the people, and offer an offering of the people, and make an atonement for them, as Yahuwah commanded. And Aaron therefore went unto the altar, and slew the calf of the sin offering, which was for himself. And the sons of Aaron brought the blood unto him, and he dipped his finger in the blood, and put it on the horn of the altar, and poured out the blood at the bottom of the altar. But the fat and the kidneys and the caul above the liver of the sin offering he burnt upon the altar, as Yahuwah commanded Moshe. And the flesh and the hide he burnt with fire without the camp. And he slew the burnt offering. And Aaron's son presented unto him the blood, and he sprinkled it round about upon the altar. And they presented the burnt offering, unto him, with the pieces thereof, and the head, and his burnt, and he burnt them upon the altar. And he did wash the inward and the legs, and burnt them upon the burnt offering of the altar. Slicha on the altar. And he brought the people, and he brought the people's offering, and took the goat, which was the sin offering for the people, and slew it, and offered it for his sin, and offered it for sin as the first. And he brought the burnt offering, and offered it according to the manner. And he brought the meat offering, and took a handful thereof, and burnt it on the altar, beside the burnt sacrifice of the morning. And he slew also the bullock and the ram for a sacrifice, a peace offering, which was for the people. And Aaron's son presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled upon the altar round about, and the fat of the bullock and of the ram, the rump, and that which covered the inward, and the kidneys, and the caul above the liver. And they put the fat upon the breast, and he burnt the fat upon the altar. And the breast and the right shoulder Aharon waved for a waved offering before Yahuwah, and Moshe, as Moshe commanded. And Aharon lifted up his hand toward the people, and baraked them, and came down from offering of the sin offering, and the burnt offering, and the peace offerings. And Moshe and Aharon went into the tabernacle of the congregation, and came out, and baraked the people. And the esteem of Yahuwah appeared unto all the people. And there came out a fire out from before Yahuwah, and consumed upon the altar the burnt offering and the fat, which was all the people, which when all the people saw, they shouted and fell on their face.
Hallelujah.
I
You
praise
know, I'm looking because we've seen that quite a bit. The caul and the kidney
God.
and the liver. So I'm looking at the significance of that, and I haven't found anything where it says that was the significance of it, but that caul is a part of the liver, like one of the lobes of the liver. It's just a section of the liver.
Okay.
Uh, but I'm still searching, and I'll continue looking to see exactly the spiritual meaning of this because we've seen it quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, we have seen this. This is about the fourth or fifth time, that I can recall talking about this. This is Yo, how you say that?
Yothethoreth.
Yo,
Yo-
right. Yeah, so that's what they got us to call appendage, overhang, uh, lobe of liver, and sacrifice animal. So, hmm, yeah, okay. So we've seen that back in Exodus. Yeah, 29 and 13, 29 and 22. Leviticus 3, 3 and 4, 3 and 10, 3 and 15, 4 and 9. Yeah, so we're at, this was just chapter 9 we read. So, yeah, like I said, it's been about 4 or 5 times, and actually a little bit more than that. We've seen this. Um, Looks like that's gonna be it though from chapter 9. So, all right, let's go to chapter 10 here. So, what's significant about that last one? The Most High or His representative appeared, and you know, regardless of the situation, I think about being there when the sky opened up and you see Hamashiach come down with the Malakim, with the armies, and I'm thinking that I'm standing there just looking like wow, but I don't think I'm gonna be standing there looking. I think I'm gonna be on my face,
That's right. Okay.
the ground, like oh my goodness, you know. one like he's here, and then the other like he's here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like wow, and it's like fearful at the same time.
Indeed.
So,
That's that healthy fear though, you know?
oh yes, indeed, yes, indeed. Yeah, I certainly wouldn't want to be standing up, just looking, just gazing up, like, you know, I'd be like, but take me, be with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. All right, this is Leviticus chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, the sins of a sin of Nahab and Abihu. This one is kind of sad, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we'll go through it. Oh, go ahead, chapter 10, if you don't mind.
Con. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 10. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aharon, took either of them his censer and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before Yahweh, which he commanded them not.
Mhm.
And there went out fire from Yahweh and devoured them, and they died before Yahweh.
No.
And it doesn't really say exactly what made that fire strange, but uh, what they did wasn't commanded. So
Right. They
it
went
was it
against
was
what he told them. When he
indeed.
say, when he say, go up two spaces and make a right, and you go up two spaces and look left and then make a right, you'd have messed up.
Indeed.
Yeah, yeah, yes,
All right.
indeed.
Verse 3. Then Moshe said unto Aharon, this is it that Yahweh spake, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me, and before all the people I will be glorified. And Aharon held his peace.
Mhm.
So, perhaps this strange fire was uplifting them rather than the Most High. You know what I mean? It was something that was distinguishing them, something that was making them stand out, uh, versus the Most High. So
Yeah, uh,
we
it it definitely was outside of the obedience. I know that much for sure, and we're gonna find out. I think at the end of this chapter or at the beginning of the next chapter, what made them do that. And so yeah, we'll continue here.
come. Verse 4. And Moshe called Mishael and Elishphan, the sons of Uziel, the uncle of Aharon, and said unto them, come near, carry your brethren from before the sanctuary out of the camp. Wow.
Yeah,
So they went near and carried them in their coats out of the camp, as Moshe had said. And Moshe said unto Aharon, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar, his sons, uncover not your heads, neither rend your clothes, lest ye die, and lest wrath come upon all the people. But let your brethren, the whole house of Israel, bewail the burning which Yahweh hath kindled. And ye shall not go out from the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. For the anointing oil of Yahweh is upon you. And they did according to the word of Moshe. And
so
yet,
he had to remind them that that anointing oil was on there. Like, don't go outside because you already consecrated. Don't
mm-hmm,
make Yahuwah, don't make Yahuwah angry because he done already killed these two. He'll kill all of us. Don't do it.
indeed.
Don't tempt him.
Well,
Mhm.
verse 8. And Yahweh spake unto Aharon, saying, do not drink wine nor strong drink, thou, nor thy sons with thee, when ye go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations. See,
So
I
look at
I I read over that.
yeah, that's what it was. So they use the first thing that kind of goes with your when you drink is that judgment. Your judgment is dissipated. You know, first thing, and they're thinking and in their minds. I'm guessing I couldn't remember if it was in this chapter or the next chapter, but in their minds are thinking that they thought they could get away with that fire, and whatever that was, it displeased Yahuwah to the point where he killed both of them. You
Con.
know, and and Aaron had to hold his peace. This is his sons dead,
Right.
and he had to hold his peace. He couldn't even
Couldn't even
he
cry out, you know.
couldn't cry out, couldn't mourn, none of that. So this was that's why I said this is sad. I've read this chapter before, and yeah, it's sad, but you know they brought it on themselves. You know, trying to trying to I guess get loose and go in there feeling kind of feeling good, messed around and made a mistake and cost them their lives.
God.
Yeah.
All right. Verse 10. And that ye may put difference between the set apart and not set apart, and between unclean and clean, and that ye may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which Yahweh has spoken unto them by the hand of Moshe. And Moshe spake unto Aharon and unto Eleazar and unto Ithamar, his sons that were left. Take the meat offering that remaineth of the offerings of Yahweh made by fire, and eat it without leaven beside the altar, for it is most set apart. And you shall eat it in the set apart place, because it is thy due, and thy sons' due, of the sacrifices of Yahweh made by fire. For so am I commanded. And the wave breast and the heave shoulder shall ye eat in a clean place, thou and thy sons and thy daughters with thee, for they be thy due, and thy sons' due, which are given out of the sacrifices of peace offerings of the children of Israel. The heave shoulder and the wave breast shall they bring with the offerings made by fire of the fat, to wave it for a wave offering before Yahweh. And it shall be thine, and thy sons with thee, by statute forever, as Yahweh hath commanded.
Shalika. I think yeah, Clifford dropped off. We're gonna get back in.
Okay.
Okay, we got you back out. All right. Uh, so we at verse 16.
Yeah, Khan.
Okay. Okay. All
Verse
right.
16. And Moshe diligently sought the goat of the sin offering, and behold, it was burnt. And he was angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, the sons of Aharon, which were left alive, saying, Wherefore have ye not eaten the sin offering in the set apart place, seeing it is most set apart, and the power hath given it to you, bear the iniquity of the congregation, to make atonement for them before Yahweh? Behold, the blood of it was not brought in within the set apart place. Ye should indeed have eaten it in the set apart place, as I commanded. And Aharon said unto Moshe, Behold, this day have they offered their sin offering and their burnt offering before Yahweh, and such things have befallen me. And if I had eaten the sin offering today, should it have been accepted in the sight of of Yahweh? And when Moshe heard that, he was content.
Yeah. So he's like, should I even deal with this thing, considering all everything that's transpired? My boys are gone. I lost two sons today, and my heart is heavy. But I had to suck it up and just deal with it when you know. But it is what it is. That's the thing. When you serve the power, you can't. He's in charge.
Come.
So he, if he decides to take your son, your daughter, whatever, nothing you can do. So your best bet is just to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. And like Moshe said, don't drink wine or strong drink, because you mess around and make a mistake. That's why I'm
Right.
saying, even when they was doing those sacrifices, to have to keep all of that in order in their minds and whatnot, um, you know, that was taxing, because you mess around and supposed to be doing one offering, you do the wrong thing, that could cost you your life.
Indeed.
So, Yeah, let's go ahead to chapter 11 here. This is flowing really smooth, so um, there's not a lot really to dig in. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, surface level stuff. So, um, law of animals for food. So this is Leviticus 11.
Yeah,
Y'all
con.
familiar with this? So, go ahead, Aki. You want to bring this one up?
Yep. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe and to Aharon, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. So, clearly, you know, brothers have contention with, the eating of meat, but
Uh,
we're getting what is okay, the meats that are okay for us to eat, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, if it was a problem, he would have said you should eat no meat, and this chapter
Con,
would have been one verse long. So we know that 'cause everything we read was talking about the priests eating the offerings.
con.
You know, so yeah.
All right, verse 3. Whatsoever parteth the hoof, and is cloven footed, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divideth the hoof, as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you.
So they got what's a coney? What do you think a coney is?
I'm not sure.
All right, let's take a look at that. And that's
Shafan.
Shafan. Shafan. Uh, rock badger, coney, or hyrax. Hyrax.
Yeah, I'm still not sure. I know what a badger is. You know what I mean? Well, I've got an idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Badger is like that's unclean. Okay, this type of thing. So this is the hyrax. Um, so yeah. So this thing you could, but it's unclean to us. I wouldn't want to eat that thing anyway.
Right? I mean, look like a rat. You know?
Yeah. Basically. So even though it chew the cud, that's not something that we eat. Let me just take a look. Let's take a look at this rock badger. Well, actually, let's just look at this word coney that they use and see what we can find there. I'm pretty sure it's the same, along the same lines. I've just never looked at this one before. Oh, let it go into the coney animal. Let's do that. Yeah, so it's basically the same thing. So it chew the cud, but it's not nothing we should be eating because it's like a little rodent. So
Come.
um, let's
Verse
continue.
6.
Yeah,
And the hare, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you.
so that's like a rabbit, another form
Come.
of basically another form of what a rodent.
You know, uh, but these, although we can't eat these animals,
Yeah.
there's no stipulation that we can't wear clothing that are made out of these animals. And I get that from Yehukanan, the immerser.
Oh
His
yeah,
his garments were made of camel
camel
skins.
skin, kind. Yeah, yes indeed. And we looked at that whatchamacallit as well. Now some of these, well, we'll see. We'll get down. We'll get further down, and hopefully get some edification on that as well.
Come. Verse 7. And the swine, though he divideth the hoof, and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcasses shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you.
So this is where it's like, because we know that was this exclusively to the swine, or was this any of these ones that he just mentioned, like the hare and the Cooney.
And the camel.
Yeah, any of these. But like we said, Yakanan the immerser, he had the camel skin. So maybe this is exclusively to the swine, because surely he was as deep as he was into into the knowledge. Surely he would have been wearing camel's hair if it was unclean.
Come.
Matter of fact, he immersed Hamashiach, so surely Hamashiach would have came to him and get immersed if he was unclean with camel's hair.
Right.
Yeah, so
Hey, good point.
um, all praise.
All right. Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas, and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
So look out. As we had that conversation last night when I was on the clubhouse call, they mentioned the sea moss. You know, so sea moss, like, is that covered under this, or is that this is living animals? Sea moss is not an animal. It's
It's a plant, right?
yeah, it's more of a plant or a type of thing. So they was having that conversation. Some people love sea moss and think it's the most healthiest thing in the earth, and other people won't touch it because they read this. It comes out the water, and it says of all that move in the water, of any living thing. They say of every living thing. Oh, sea moss is alive, so I can't fool with it. And so I I don't know. I personally would believe it's a plant. And uh, one brother was on there. He said, I think he's from Jamaica. He said they have sea moss that has seeds. I was like, really? I never heard that before. But yeah, he said that's something they have in Jamaica.
Hmm.
Uh, Sea moss that have seeds. So, but yeah, like I said, the people who deal with it, they love it. I feel like it's the most healthy thing on
Come. Yeah, we've got some here in the house as well.
earth. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I
uh,
never heard of it with seeds though.
yeah, me neither. Me neither.
Yeah.
But I would assume, it probably does. It's
Yeah.
more like a vine type of.
Kind of.
It's
Yeah.
it's just in the sea.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, verse 12.
Oh, we at 12?
Whatsoever.
Oh,
You
we
hear
at 12?
somebody?
You said we at 12?
Yeah, con.
Okay, go ahead.
Whatsoever have no fins or nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you. What's y'all's take on tuna?
So tuna, as I understand, it does have scales, right?
Yeah, con. Now it's got different scales where they're prominent, the scales are more prominent along the head, but it's not. And then the scales that it has on the rest of the body are real small. Uh, but yeah, they do have scales. But I've heard contention, where people will say that we shouldn't eat tuna because it doesn't have scales, but it does in fact have scales and fins.
Yeah, we got fins and scales. It's clean. If just because it's not the same type of scales that's on a trout, doesn't mean it's not scales. If it's scales, it's scales.
Yeah,
If you got to
con.
descale it, it's clean.
Indeed.
If it's a fish that you got to, it's a fish you got to, is a trout slick? It's like a slick fish. Is that a slick fish? That joker looks slick to me.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, not trout then. What's the other fish that we can't eat?
Let's see. Catfish.
No, no, that we can't eat.
Oh, that we can.
Yeah, whiting.
Whiting.
Yeah, so you can see the scales there. See how those are small, but nevertheless, you got to descale that joker before you fool
Mm-hmm.
with it. So it's legit as long as it got the scale. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
All right. Returning to Leviticus chapter 11, verse 13. Avoid the unclean. And these are they which ye shall have an abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. The eagle, the ostrich, and the osprey.
okay. Let's check out this ostrich. Is that do you recall what that is?
Nah, I'm not sure. It
Yeah,
sounds like an ostrich though.
yeah. It sounds like that. Let's see what that.
Okay, it looked like a vulture or something.
Yeah, like a. Yeah, don't look like nothing I'd want to eat. Yeah, nah, look like nothing worth eating. Let's check out this osprey as well. Yeah, another. See, these are predatory birds.
Uh-huh.
These birds. He got him a kill in his. He done stripped it down.
Yeah, kind. And
Yeah,
they'll eat what's dead also.
yeah, yeah. That too. So yeah, them jokers, man. Not to be trifled with. All right, yeah, we
Verse
got that.
14. And the vulture and the kite after his kind.
Yeah, so we know what a vulture is. Let's check out a kite here. I hope we don't. Let's see, kite. I'm gonna say kite animal
Yeah, kind.
because I know it's gonna bring up a toy. Kite bird. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, just these predatory type of birds. I saw on a show one time there was a bird that had flippers and it was still a predator. That joker, like, how you got flippers and you killing? How you get killed by someone with flippers?
Yeah, kind.
You just move out the way. They can't grab you.
Right.
With talons, they can grab you and squeeze you. But the joker's got um, flippers. I mean, no way. If I was a bird, I'd get ate by a bird with flippers. All right, we know what a raven is.
Yeah, kind. Verse 15. Every raven after his kind, the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckhawk, and the hawk after his kind.
All right, we know all of these. Let's check out this coot. Because I'm not familiar. That doesn't ring a bell. Ooh,
It
these
just
are
looks
mostly
like a yard bird.
yeah, these are mostly paintings. So these not even this is the only like real picture of one. Yeah, it look like something that would just be outside. Birds of the Bible, chapter 2. Huh. Strange. I guess they don't. They're probably not as prominent as they used to be because all these are paintings, with the exception of that one. Oh, here's one. It's kind of like a road runner. This vessel. Okay, okay. Just curious. Uh, let's continue. Oh, I jumped off.
Oh,
I
Salakia,
lost y'all.
Salakia. Like
Uh,
I was, yeah, I was trying to swipe over to see the actual picture of the bird, and it swiped me. I swiped myself out.
oh, okay, okay. Let me go back to it. It's this one. Yeah, because I wish I could move this over. Uh, let me see.
Yeah, I can see it. Like when I
You can
when
see
I
it.
yeah when I expand the screen over
Okay, okay. Yeah, it looked like a little road runner,
there. Mm-hmm.
kind of like so. All right. Uh, so we know about the little owl. We know what the owl is. A cormorant. We can kind of take a look at that one. and the great owl. We know what owls, families of owls. We know what
Mm-hmm.
owl. We see it, but let's see what this cormorant is. I'm not as familiar with that. Whoa, is that the bird with the flipper? Nah, he's got. I think he got flippers. But it's been some concern, not concern, but some talk about uh, ducks and swans. I got these. I wouldn't fool with that. Yeah, they do got flippers.
Okay, come.
Yeah, so this bird, this might be one that might have been part of that family of the bird that I was seeing that was attacking that other. Uh,
Some
that
type of
other
seabird.
yeah, yeah. But I wouldn't fool with no. I wouldn't fool with no swan. I don't know how they did that.
So ducks, are they part of the swan family?
Um, I wouldn't fool with none with flippers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not interested in nothing. I'm not interested in eating anything with flippers at all. So anything that got, nah, I ain't fooling with that. Uh, I mean, it don't technically, wouldn't it be? I mean, it's a bird though, but yeah, I mean, you see them, I ain't fooling with that.
I mean, but would it be unlawful to eat?
Um, so I would think so, and that's why I'm saying I'm not fool. I wouldn't fool with it. But it's just the pelican. Pelicans are highly predatory. What do ducks eat? And let's see. Let's see. Let's see what do ducks eat? Natural diet of a duck: aquatic vegetables and pondweed, along with seeds, insects, worms, small amounts of snails, amphibians, and even
Crustaceans like crabs, lobsters,
citrus.
shrimp.
Yeah, so they eat all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they eat unclean stuff, so probably have to stay away from it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say duck, by name here. We see the pelican and the swan, but we don't see duck by name. We don't see goose by name. But I mean, I certainly wouldn't be like, you know, I don't remember anywhere in the text where they was eating stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't. I wouldn't try it. I wouldn't try it. I definitely wouldn't. But I wouldn't. So I think we at verse 17.
All right.
Salakia.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you on 17?
Yeah, kind of. I was just looking at some of these animals that we may not
Yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah. Nah, cause when y'all kept questioning the duck, I was
Yeah.
just wondering. I was like, when they get to verse 20, I was wondering, would that signify the duck? But go
Uh,
ahead.
all fowls that creep and go on all fours. No, I think that's more along the lines of these
That's a
bugs
penguin.
that go on all fours.
Yeah, penguin will
Con. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I wouldn't eat a pink one either.
con.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't fool with that. And I say that because we still got grocery stores now. But if I was in, I think if I was in Dire Straits, I wouldn't want to eat a penguin. You know what a toucan is?
Like Toucan Sam.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fool with that either. It's just certain things you just wouldn't want to. Like I stick more with the pigeon, with the quail, chicken, turkey, any of these type of things. Things that we've been eating for years. But I wouldn't want to get into something I ain't never ate before. Especially if it's unclean. If it's could be unclean. It's not mentioned here by name, but when you look at it, uh, and that duck is a filthy looking thing. Um, you see them up close in person. So you hear they eat watermelon. They feed them all kind of stuff. They'll eat almost anything. Insects, small amphibians, seeds and grains, vegetables, grass, different grasses. I don't know. Unless I find out something different, I wouldn't want to fool with no duck. You know, I wouldn't trust anything with bare feet. Now, before I was in the truth, yeah, I would. I think I have eaten duck before, but I wouldn't do it now. Yeah, I wouldn't do it now. So,
And see,
uh,
my grandfather, he was a hunter.
yeah,
So, we get duck, raccoon, a bunch of just
yeah,
unclean things.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I seen craziest thing I think I ever seen was this cat put some pit bull puppies on the barbecue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and was eating them on camera.
Was he Chinese?
No, it was a Negro,
Damn.
so-called Negro. Yeah, yeah, one of them old country, them backwood country boys. And yeah, he had it in the foil, and I guess he skinned it. It looked like a puppy. I mean, it looked like a puppy, and he cooked it, and then he was pinching it off and was eating it. And I thought, that's sick. I wouldn't.
I don't know how hungry I'd have to be to do that, man.
I couldn't. I couldn't. I wouldn't be in the way. Ain't no way. I mean, one, it's unclean. We know it's unclean.
Right.
Number two, it's a puppy. You know, number one, it's unclean, so it's against the Torah. Number two, it's a freaking puppy. A puppy is a
It's,
pet.
it's, it's our best friend.
Yeah, it's a pet. It's nothing that you eat. Like that's crazy, but yeah. Uh,
All right.
yeah. Verse 17. Man.
And the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gear eagle, and the stork, the heron after her kind, and the lapping wing, and the bat.
Okay, so I didn't even look at this heron and this lopping wing. I don't know what the heck a lopping wing is.
The
I don't know.
heron, I think, is like a. Well, see, I was thinking it was like a stork.
Yeah, I think that's. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. See that big, long, tall bird? Nah, I wouldn't even want to fool with that. But them things, I think, will kill you. I think they pretty bad. One of the guys I work with, he had a little pond in his yard, and he had one of those things coming and messing with his fish, taking out his fish, and he was trying to figure out what he was gonna do against it. And he was like,
Now, I want to say they protect the species.
"Yeah, that, and they know how to protect themselves. So you mess around and mess with that thing will kill you. You be out there dead, fooling with that
Missing
thing.
an eye.
Shoot, that thing, that big bad bird, man, that bird. See, this joker has got long legs, lap wing. He's got them long legs, but I don't know if they run fast or if they That's like messing with a woodpecker, man. You don't mess with no woodpecker. That joker. You remember how? I don't know why they keep doing that. You remember how in the cartoon Woody would hit that? Be, you ever see a woodpecker in life?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And the way they hit that wood. Imagine them doing that to your head. Remember
All
Woody
right.
used
You
to.
know. You know your skin ain't as hard as that wood.
Soon now, soon now. That joker tear you up. Get over your head and boy,
But
you
that
be dead.
at one almost remind me of the Road Runner.
Oh yeah, the last one, the
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, that road runner, I wouldn't want to fool with him either. He got this joke about a first lapwing chick. Yeah. Them jokers get their legs grow real long. I wonder is it because they be in the water or why they legs so long, I wonder. Just curious. But yeah, that heroin, yeah, that thing. I went through with that thing, man. That thing looked crazy. Yeah, they be in the water, and these been backwards instead of going forward like ours do. They just
Mm-hmm.
go backwards. So, all right. Uh, so that's the file. So now we get into this is the bugs here, verse 20.
Verse 20.
Yeah,
All fowls that creep going upon all fours shall be an abomination unto you. Yet,
because are there any bird? I don't. There's no birds that going on for us.
well, the only thing I can think of is just that pigeon, or not the pigeon, but the penguin.
Yeah,
But penguins might be mammals now that I think about it.
yeah, but penguins are they don't go on fours. I mean, they only got two legs. Uh, then they got their wings. They kind of, but they slide on their belly. I know you're talking about they slide on their belly, but they don't even fly. Um, yeah, so
Mm. All right, verse 21.
yeah,
Yet these may ye eat of every flying creeping thing that goeth upon all fours, which have legs above their feet, to leap withal upon the earth. Even these of them ye may eat, the locust after his kind,
hmm
and the bald locust after his kind, and
hmm
the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind.
so the beetle, the locust, and the grasshopper. Which the locust and the grasshopper are basically the same thing.
Here it comes.
So those are the ones we can eat, and rest of it can't fool with it.
Mhm. Verse 23. But all other flying creeping things which have 4 feet shall be an abomination unto you. And for these ye shall be unclean. Whosoever toucheth the carcass of them shall be unclean unto the even.
hmm
And how many times do we just see these things on the ground and just step on them?
hmm Well, and I wonder if when he say touch it, and of course we got shoes on,
Mm-hmm.
would that be the equivalent because it's on your shoe? It's not really touching your body,
Here it comes.
so that'll probably be all right. I'm guessing.
I mean, I don't swatted a fly with my hand.
Yeah, yeah. That now that's something different. Yeah, because that make you you do would be unclean until the evening, and you see these things fly around. Next man do one of those,
Right, right.
and
Mosquitoes,
yeah, yeah, you're unclean.
lightning
They,
bugs.
yeah, those things are terrible because they like to touch us. Not only do we touch them, they like to touch us. And you in the wrong place on the Sabbath, you unclean. Now you gotta go
Wow.
ahead.
God.
Yeah.
Verse 25. And whosoever beareth aught of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. The carcass of every beast which divideth the hoof and is not cloven footed, nor cheweth the cud, are unclean unto you. Every one that toucheth them shall be unclean. Okay.
Mm, look at
And
that. Yeah.
whatsoever goeth upon his paws among all manner of beasts that go on all fours, those are unclean unto you. Whoso toucheth their carcass shall be unclean unto the even. And he that beareth the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until even. They are unclean unto you. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth, the weasel, and the mouse, and the tortoise after his kind.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather used to make uh
Well, sweet.
turtle soup. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I think all of our, is so far removed from this, and so we got to teach our children, man, so that next generation, they'd be like, man, it's something strange. Because my grandma used to say stuff, and I could never understood why I never understood why she said it, and now that I'm into this word, I see where some of the stuff she was saying was coming from. Uh, we almost to the end. I'll say that to the end, and
All right.
I'll tell that story. But go ahead.
Verse 30. And the ferret, and the chameleon, and the lizard, and the snail, and the mole, these are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever doeth touch them, when they be dead, shall be unclean until the even.
Don't
And
touch
upon
none of that stuff.
Salakia, I'm sorry,
I was just saying, don't touch none of that stuff when it's dead.
indeed.
Get you a grab
It,
hand.
yeah,
Throw a piece of plastic or something over it and pick it up like that and throw it in the trash. If you got a dead something in your yard, don't touch it with your hand.
con. Verse 32. And upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, doeth fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, or sack, whatsoever vessel it be, wherein any work is done, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean unto the even. So it shall be cleansed.
Mm-hmm.
So like you get a fly, I can remember different feasts. Fly might fly and touch the cup, you
All
know.
right. All right. Got to wash it in water, and it's
Yep,
unclean until the evening.
yep.
Yeah.
And every earthen vessel whereunto any of them falleth, whatsoever it is, Slacky, whatsoever is in it shall be unclean, and ye shall break it.
Mm. He said, get rid of it.
Yeah. Of all meat which may be eaten, that on which such water cometh shall be unclean, and all drink that may be drunk in every such vessel shall be unclean.
Salika. Hold on. I don't remember looking at this one. It's hard. It says, for all meat which may be eaten, that's meat that's permitted, that on which such water cometh. So water that is defiled by a bug shall be unclean. So if the water touch so if you get a bug in your drink, man, I I think at some point in time I took a bug out of my cup and continued drinking.
I know I've done it. I didn't want to say it. I know I've done it. Like recent. I mean, I ain't gonna say recently, but there was a feast that we were having. You know.
Man, I didn't realize that. Man, that's why it's so important. We
Hey,
pull off.
that's why we include the knowing and unknowing.
Yes,
Con.
indeed. Yes, indeed. We got
Yeah.
to. There's so much we don't know, And going back through this, it's like wow. It's like wow. Yeah. So if your water, if you get a bug in your cup and you put, how sometimes you got stuff on the grill and you throw water on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just made your meat unclean. And any drink is drunk, such a vessel shall be unclean. So man, these bugs are a problem. Like I wish it gave us some insecticide to use. Keep this
Right,
stuff
right,
away.
right. And see, I imagine the only thing that kept these bugs off their food was the heat. You know.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. I imagine, yeah, because some of these bugs are relentless. So, um, verse 35.
And everything whereupon any part of their carcass falleth shall be unclean, whether it be oven or ranges for pots, they shall be broken down, for they are unclean, and shall be unclean unto you.
Wow,
Wow.
wow, wow,
Yeah, man.
I
wow,
got to go. I gotta go throw my dishes away now.
Right, right.
wow. That is wow. Okay.
Yeah, it is what it is. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, look, man. That goes to show grandma was right, man. Y'all close that door. Don't let them flies in the house.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Man, don't do it. Don't do it. That would be a problem for everybody. I'm gonna have to get some
I'm gonna have to throw everything out.
man, I
Man,
gotta get some citronella and put it in front of my apartment. Keep them bugs away.
and you know my daughters, the way they act if we get any bug in the house, like
Yeah,
kill it, daddy, kill like it's a priority. So, you know, they right, you know, they
right,
right. Get it up out of here.
get them out because they'll defile your home. You gotta wash it in water or break it down and throw it away.
Indeed.
My goodness,
And you know, spiders get in everywhere, man,
everywhere.
and touch just about everything they want to.
Yeah, Ooh, thankfully I ain't seen a roach. I ain't seen a roach since I've been here. But man, whew,
Yeah.
I've seen them before, but not here. Thankfully.
Yeah, I had an apartment one time, and you know it was infested. This
Oh,
is down in old Louisville, those old timey homes. You know, it
yeah,
was
God.
infested, and
You know,
it didn't help that we weren't the cleanest. You know what I mean?
right.
Me and my roommate.
Kind. And see, that's part of the reason why I'm full with pets, man. Because, they're going to have fleas. You
Yeah,
almost guaranteed to have fleas. You may see one in a while, but yeah, they just going to get on you. You unclean. You got to wash yourself in water and be unclean until the evening.
here it come.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, verse 36.
So,
Nevertheless, a fountain or pit wherein there is plenty of water shall be clean, but that which toucheth their carcass shall be unclean. And if any part of their carcass shall fall upon any sowing seed, which is to be sown, it shall be clean. But if any water be put upon the seed, and any part of their carcass fall thereon, it shall be unclean unto you.
so the dry seed is okay, but if you put water on it and the bug come on it, it's unclean.
Here come. And if any beast of which ye may eat die, he that toucheth the carcass thereof shall be unclean unto the even. And he that eateth of the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean unto the even. He also that beareth the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean unto the even. And every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth shall be an abomination. It shall not be eaten. Whatsoever goeth upon the belly, and whatsoever goeth upon all fours, or whatsoever hath more feet among all creeping things that creep upon the earth, them ye shall not eat, for they are an abomination. Centipedes.
Centipedes, caterpillars, all of
Yeah.
these type of things. I'm cool with that.
Uh, I think it's grubs. Like it's a part of Africa where, I've seen these bushmen. They
Yeah,
will pull back like a bark from a tree, and there'll be
yeah.
all these grubs in them, and they'll eat them and say it's high in protein. But
It's abomination.
here come.
Ugh.
All right, verse 43.
hmm
Ye shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creepeth, neither shall ye make yourselves unclean with them, that ye shall be defiled thereby. For I am Yahweh, your power. Ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be set apart. For I am set apart. Neither shall ye defile yourselves with any manner of creeping things that creepeth upon the earth.
You notice he talking a whole lot about these creeping things.
Here
Seems
come.
like he spent more time in this than he did all the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
For I am Yahweh that bringeth you up out of the land of Mizraim to be your power. Ye shall therefore be set apart, for I am set apart. This is the law of the beast, and of the fowl, and of every living creature that moveth in the waters, and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth. to make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beast that may be eaten and the beast that may not be eaten. All praises to the
All
Most High.
praises. Yes, indeed. All the way to the 11th chapter. And it only took just over an hour and a half to get through all of that, despite all the talking and stories we did. So, man, that Leviticus chapter 11, every time I read it, it's like, wow. Um, the rest of that heavy stuff, dealing with the loss of Aharon and his sons. Whew, that's some heavy stuff. So,
Indeed.
uh, I was gonna share this. I was talking about my grandmother, and she used to say stuff, and I understand what she was saying. And now that I've gotten older, I understand a little bit more. She used to say, "Don't walk around with one shoe on because you'll be a widow."
She said, "What now?"
She said, "Don't walk around with one shoe on because you'll be a widow."
Hmm.
Hey, that's
Kind of,
crazy. 'Cause I had a brother that he would, well, a friend of mine. He would always have one shoe on. I was like, bro, why you do that? That's the weirdest thing ever. Like, why you do that? I couldn't figure out. I don't know.
yeah. So here's the crazy thing. Hello. I realized where she got it from. Uh, Check this out. Check this out. This is where she got it from.
Let's see. Where is that at?
I'm looking for it. Uh, and is your righteous abomination. I think I went right past it. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Yeah. Here you go. Yep. Verse 7.
It's
This is this.
Deuteronomy 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
25. Verse 7. It says, and I don't know if she got it. I wouldn't say she got it out of this, but this is where that tale kind of came from. Um, and it clicked in me one day, and I thought about it. I was like, what? But anyway, verse 7. It says, and if a man like not to take his brother's wife. So in context, let's start with verse first. Actually, start at verse 5. You get the context. It said, if brethren dwell together, and one of them die having no child, his wife, or the wife of his the dead, shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. So my grandma used to say, if you walk around with one shoe on, you'll be a widow. Keep that in mind. Verse number 6, it says, and it shall be that the firstborn which she bear shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, and his name be not put out of Israel. And if the man liketh not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate unto the elders, and say, my husband's brother refuseth to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. And the elders in the city shall call him and speak unto him. And uh, if he stand to it, and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders, and loose his shoe from his foot, and spit in his face, and and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto him, unto that man that will not build up his brother's house. And his name shall be called in Israel the house of him that have his shoe loosed. Did y'all get that?
Yeah, con.
So even though she wasn't saying it right, she's talking about a widow. Of course, the woman is a widow because her husband died,
Uh-huh.
and it's not the woman with the shoe loose; it's the man with the shoe loose because, or with the one shoe because she loosed the shoe from off his foot. And like I said, she I don't think she had it exactly right, but when I read that and when I started thinking, I made that connection. I thought, is this where Grandma get that from? Is this where It probably was jumbled pretty good, but
Well, I mean, and perhaps that's something she remembered from her grandparents. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
from
And she didn't relay it the way that they were relaying it, you know?
right. Because she used to tell my cousin that. I remember my cousin. I think it was prom or something, and she was showing a shoe that she wanted to buy more. Or this shoe or more this shoe. This is the one, and then she was gonna put the other one on. And she was walking around that one shoe. My grandma said, "Don't walk around with one shoe. You're gonna be a widow."
Right, right. And y'all was like, what is she talking about?
Right. I was like, "What shoe gonna make you a widow?" That don't make sense. But yeah, but that's where I believe that's where she got it from. That's where it came from. Him to have his shoe loose because you take off that shoe, or she loosed the shoe on him and spit in his face because he won't raise up seed to his brother. And she's a widow because her husband died, and her husband's brother won't raise him up seed. So, but yeah, that's another thing too. That passage that I just read, uh, 25 and starting at verse 5, um, why we can't deal with one wife. You can't take another wife because if you got the duty of, next to kin, you got to raise seed to your brother. It don't say unless you want to be, unless um, you just don't want one. Of course, you can't refuse. But who want to be the house of him having his shoe loose? You
Come.
know, who want to be known for that? So, but yeah. So that's enough. Let's go ahead to final thoughts here, and we read a lot, got a lot out of today, and let's start with our Cliff. Go ahead with your final thoughts, our Cliff.
So like, yeah, I'm still stuck on the that wilderness mindset, man, where we're gonna have to be mindful of those creeping things out there and those entrapments of anything that we could trap to eat, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to gear my mind up to be like, get to the point where I know the berries, you know what I mean? The good, when because I like being in the woods, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I'm like, man, I remember looking at grasshoppers and be like, ugh, I'll never eat those. And then I'm like, man, okay, you said it's okay to eat those. So then I look at, how people used to cook them on, I'm like, well, damn, they really do eat grasshoppers. So I'm like, okay, learn how to make a fire because you might have to gather some insects. You better know how to, all these things that I don't know, man. It's amazing to say, the think that we may go back to these times where these stoves are going to be irrelevant. You know what I mean? So I just like the fact that knowing what I'm like, man, I'm glad I got on today to hear that dietary law again, man. I like that dietary law.
Yeah, I mean that's one. You can't study it too much. You can't study it enough. Really, there's so much information in there. Just to refresh, like man, that's on there.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
one?
The world will make, because when you go to the store, they all these things they make it, they present it with crystals around it. Like here, eat this is good for you. I'd
You know,
say, we was brought up to intake the wrong things for
right,
so-called protein and all these. I told my daughter the other day. I said, uh, no, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. She had twisted her ankle at the trampoline place, and I said, you gotta do like white folks. You got to drink that milk. They said do a body good, and she bust out laughing like that. We don't drink that stuff like, so it's like, well, that's what they say. They say it's good for you. You know what I mean? So it's just I. And then I go home. I'm from North Carolina. They live high off the hog down there. So it's hard to tell them that, man, hey, look, y'all cooking, man. I ain't eating. So when I go home now, they like, it's weird. It's weird. Like, they have separate grills.
right, Kai, you got to. 'Cause, once you done cooked the final grill, you gotta throw that thing in the trash. Break
Yeah,
it down, throw it away.
It's
Yeah,
hard, and it's hard to eat with family like that. You know what I mean? Because who knows what they cooked on it the week before? You know what I
right.
mean?
right,
Like,
right.
It's hard to
so
eat in public,
you
and
show up with a new grill. They be like, oh, you too good to eat off my grill now.
Right, right.
yeah, you be like, Kai,
I be like,
they
bring
be
out
like,
the book, man. Bring out the book.
right.
Hallelujah.
One thing else, I'll throw this in, talking about Leviticus 11. One thing else that I've done since I understanding this truth, I don't eat any kind of fish fillet now because I don't know what all fish they put in that. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever fillet, I ain't fooling with that. So I don't eat no fish sandwich. If it's not a fish that I can readily identify, I can go on Google like we was doing and see what this fish look like in the natural. A fillet, they just take whatever they caught and sprinkle it all together, and take the meat from it and sprinkle it all together. You know, telling what you got in that bunch of mess.
Yeah,
So yeah, but go ahead with final thoughts, Ken.
Con. Land backing off of what our Cliff was saying. Glad I was a part of this read as well. In that last chapter, the Most High puts a stamp on His people. Uh, you all are to be set apart, for I am set apart. Uh, you know, we do things unknowingly,
Mm-hmm.
but that it doesn't make it okay.
Right.
These are things that we have to repent for. Uh, we want to be pleasing in His sight, and if we know, we should do better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like each day, we ought to want to do better each day. Uh, so yeah, I'm just really thankful for us to be able to get into this word and to come into this knowledge of this truth. All praises
Hallelujah.
to the Most High Yah.
Yeah, all praises, yes indeed. Yeah, man, it's been such a parakah, the more we read, the more we go through, the more we pulling out, the more we learning, the more it's just a parakah. You've read it before, you go back and read it again, and you like, wow, every time you open the book, you've seen it before, but it's like something in there is just different, and it's edifying. It's so edifying. So, man, I'm thankful. I'm thankful the Most High had put this on my ruach, had put this on our ruach to get into this and to go through this journey. And I just pray that we continue to learn and grow into this thing, and just continue to get better. Our praise to the Father, and I told our Rabbi to Joachim, who will join in with me going through these texts. I pray that your edification is as high as mine is. You know, I was so lifted up last night when we was reading. You know, he gave them three different options for the offering. You know, for I can't remember if it was the sin offering or the uh, whatever the offering was, but he gave them three different options. And you know, you hear people, Christians, like, you can't keep that law, you can't do this and that and da da da. Can't. But all you got to do is try. You know what I'm saying? Just try. And you show Abba, you know, they'll go into the New Testament and read, if you draw nigh unto him, he'll draw nigh unto you. You draw near unto him, he'll draw near unto you.
That's right.
But but yet they're so quick to say, can't do this, you can't do that, can't do this law. But you know, you let the heathen tell you to put the seatbelt on, stop at the stop sign, you know, slow down on the yellow light, you know, all this stuff, and you do it without question. But for somehow the Most High's law you got a problem with. Doesn't make sense. You need to reevaluate your ruach, your thinking, because you know he made this for his people to be set apart, and that's exactly what it does. It sets us apart. So I give all praise, honor, and great esteem to the Most High Power Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua HaMashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say Shalom Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High Power, under one covenant. Hallelujah. Until that day, Shalom, family.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Yasharal.
Shabbat Shalom.